Oh, good morning and a happy Friday to all you SMITE fans out there. We got a whole day of esports action ahead of us, but let's go ahead and get it all started off with the SMITE Challenger Circuit over in the European region for our first set of the day to get everything kind of kicked off here. My name is J Mac Tucker. Joining me for this set is going to be Mifflin. We've got the Snake Hunters versus Team Joystick. Team Joystick, the current second seed in the region, looking to maintain that spot here today if they can get a win over the Snake Hunters. And the Snake Hunters looking for a little bit of success after a lot of the roster shakeups they've had this phase.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this match has a whole lot of implications on the seeding, so J-Mac, I think if we're lucky, we might get a little bit of a goofy match here.
Sometimes that's the fun that you get to see once we kind of come to these final weeks of play. This is week number 10. Let's look at the schedule and see what other matches we have for the rest of the week. And what you may have missed, we had Goodnight Nick get a win yesterday over Pandemonium. Herculean Hoops fell to Tiburones to Tijuana. A very surprising matchup between them yesterday, and then Sleekness fell to Sturdy Artisans in 2-1. And we still got two other sets after today. We have Just F6 and Elysium to close out the weekend on Sunday, and tomorrow, Winter Dogs and Average Joes. Let's look at the standings for EU. You can kind of take a look and see how everything will fall in, and because of the matchup yesterday, even with a loss here, Team Joystick would still maintain that second seed. Just F6 won't be able to crawl up into that fourth spot. So, for all intents and purposes, this match doesn't really mean all that much according to the standings. May, as you alluded to, maybe give it a little bit of fun today.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Snake Hunters right now sitting at 1-8 in the standings means that they can really only try and play spoiler here. Maybe it has some implications as far as head-to-head matchups as the weeks roll on, but Snake Hunters might just find themselves out of contention.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a struggle at the first half of the phase, and they made some roster change-ups in the earlier stages of the phase, and then in the last few weeks they've made even more severe roster changes, but haven't been able to find that same level of success they did all the way back in phase number 1 of the SEC. Talking a little bit about the Snake Hunters here and kind of their new team, what maybe we can look forward to as the next round of phases come through. Maybe we see them kind of make a re-emergence in the future phase of Mecha Black, Wengu, Chekio, Worst Turtle, and the Ray Shadow rounding out this roster. Some players who have had some time in the SEC before, some time to shine up in the SOC, and kind of with their change-up here, Worst Turtle coming back with this new team. Haven't found a whole lot of success in games, at least, but they have had some success in their individual roles.
Yeah, each one of these players is incredibly mechanically talented. It just seems like they're still trying to iron out what it is exactly they're trying to identify themselves as a team, what the strategies are going to be, and generally it's those late-game team fight phases. In the laning phase, this team is incredibly strong. I mean, they are able to hold their own against literally everybody within the European SEC. It's more so about that team fight. One standout for me is Worst Turtle. He's been looking incredibly strong out of the jungle recently, making individual plays throughout the early game. It's just more so that synergy I want to see get continually kind of worked on and improved as the year goes on.
Yeah, Worst Turtle's been kind of bouncing around between a few of the teams here in the SEC, and just about every team he's gone through, he has looked pretty strong. But they're going up against the second seed team of Team Joystick, a team that, I'll put it this, in season number 7, even kind of in the first phase, not a whole lot of success from this team, but phase 2 has been a whole different story here for Team Joystick. E-Chrome silenced Sap, Sarpei, and Lamogao. Lamogao in particular has made a drastic improvement in that solo lane to become a really big factor for this team.
Yeah, generally when players improve, it's because they decided to start playing the meta, or they decided that they're going to, try and really hone in exactly what everybody else is doing. Lamogao said, no, I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to do it better than the majority of people that play this game, and he does so incredibly well with his unorthodox picks out of the solo lane that have done really well in P's and B's to absorb bans. Not many teams have to ban out Kumbhakarna or have Kumbhakarna banned out against them. Hades comes to mind as well. All these unorthodox picks, Kabrakan with like Bancroft's Talon, Typhon's Fang. These are all Lamogao specials, and somehow makes it look incredibly good. And when you're doing stuff like that and you're absorbing that many bans, it allows the rest of your team to really flourish. I mean, in particular, Sap7 has been allowed to play just about anything he wants. Not many people are banning him out because they've got their eyes on Lamogao.
Yeah, Mogao being kind of that forward-facing icon of the team does force a lot of bans and a lot of direction thrown his way, and that does allow Sap7 to kind of play whatever he wants. He kind of had some standouts earlier in the phase, specifically on the Baba Yaga. It was kind of one of his big ones, like, oh, this guy has come out to play. He's been able to put up some big damage and been able to maintain quite a nice little equity in the mid lane with some of these other mid laners. We'll see how the picks and bans shake up here in game number 1. Let's jump right into them and see what kind of things we might see here in week number 10. This is the final week of play, and because of the current standings where everybody is, these teams will not match anywhere else. They will not swap around in their standings. Let's see what everybody decides to go with here. Snake Hunters do have the first pick.
They do, so that means that they can get whatever they want coming out of P's and B's. Generally in the European SEC, all the mid laners make their way through. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Tiamat available at the end of this one, as Soul is banned out immediately, and my analysis is banned out immediately. Tiamat banned out on the other side very quickly by Joystick. But this is going to leave a lot available already with these 3 kind of fringe meta bans. Means that things like Yamoja, Khepri, Geb, all still available right now. Only 3 bans remaining. I got to think at least one of those is going to make it through.
And one pick that is just synonymous with Team Joystick, or at least one ban against Team Joystick, has been Echrome's Heimdall. And I think it was Gore got either did like a small interview or just got a message from Echrome and just kept asking, like, why are they always banning this god against you? And the words back from Echrome was just, I'm just sick on Heimdall. In the one game last week that we did get to see him on Heimdall, yeah, he lived up to the expectation. That's why we are seeing this god banned away. Couple that with now an Odin ban for the first 2 bans on the side of Team Joystick being that Tiamat Odin, then on the other side here for the Snake Hunters getting a nice few bans of their own, namely that Heimdall that was popped up there, and then that Soul as a first ban.
Yeah, now Hell going to round out the banning phase for the Snake Hunters, so that does leave a lot on the table here. Generally, we'll see things like the Khepri or the Geb inside of this slot, but we'll see how highly the Snake Hunters kind of value that pick, because if they don't take it, it's very likely that we see the other side, Joystick, just take their pick of those 2. But in this type of position, you can just elect to go towards something a little bit more unorthodox. I wasn't thinking that unorthodox. I was thinking maybe like a mid-mage selection, then you take the second better Guardian, but instead, Kuzenbo locked in first overall, has some flex potential, could head over into the Soul lane, could also be a support, but either way, whenever you're playing against Kuzenbo or with it, it's pretty annoying. Just sit in front of the enemy, generally the mage, and press your second ability, press Thorns, and hope they kill themselves on you.
Speaking of a god where you press your pseudo-thorns kind of thing here, you can get a thorns for Kabrakan, and then you just hope that people dump damage into you, and then with the way that Mogau's been building it, tons of lifesteal, so yeah, just go ahead and keep hitting this Kabrakan while he slams those tremors down against you. Joystick will then round out their top 2 with a Hachiman, but a Kuzenbo is a first pick, not something that we would generally expect, except for, I would say maybe when we're talking like SPL, like the Warriors would probably be the only team I would see a Kuzenbo as something prioritized for a first pick, but we've got 4 mages banned out in the top stage of the bans immediately out, and then you have the Odin, and then the Heimdall early on. So it leaves a lot of things up on the table, namely Yamoja is one that the EU scene still does like to go towards. This Terra that we got to see quite a few times yesterday too, especially over in the NA side. I think Ionic was getting this god quite often.
Here's the thing about how Terra doesn't really clean up this draft too much. I don't know if it's headed into the solo or if it's headed into support. Both these gods have great flex potential, so we'll see where the Snake Hunters elect to toss that one. Merlin, though, is a pick that I thought we would see get locked in here by the Snake Hunters. Generally, the European SEC, when not allowed to go towards that Raijin or the Tiamat, it seems like Merlin's that next best up.
And it's always curious seeing like where the third mage in line is, and it really does change between region to region. NA kind of likes Persephone. In fact, we've been seeing a lot more Persephone banned away in particular, even before the Tiamats and the Raijins come through. So, but then in the EU SCC, as far as this European region goes, they really have been liking this Merlin. Thanatos is not something that we see too often with the European region. That's more synonymous with like Coat Baby and NA on the opposite side. So curious that we do see a Thanatos locked in here. But with the 8.9 changes, makes Thanatos a little bit stronger. So maybe more of the teams are starting to look over towards them.
Yeah, it just has good global presence, early rotation power, incredibly strong early game. If you want to go towards that Jotuns first, you generally finish that item very, very quickly. So I expect great things from this Thanatos. And he's got some decent targets to look towards. Merlin, sure, you've got Flicker to avoid the hovering death, but you're flickering like 5 feet away, and Death Scythe is still going to do like 60% of your HP bar on its own. So this Merlin's going to play very safe going forward, but you've got great peel potential. I mean, if it's hovering death as the initiation, you can use Watery Grave from Kuzenbo. All of a sudden, you're not allowed to do that Thanatos combo. Terra with the Earthen Fury makes you survivable inside of those situations as well. So the Snake Hunters, I'd say, have done a good job of mitigating some of that engage potential of the Thanatos.
Snake Hunters will take away some more extra frontline initiation presence in the Ares and the Athena, both banned away, and then it'll be a Serket and a Fenrir banned by Team Joystick. They're going for a couple of the jungle shots, and then that still leaves Sylvanas. We somehow forgot about this god still being available all this way through. In fact, I think it was the European region who was actually playing Sylvanas well before the Sylvanas buffs ever came through. I want to say it was like Emilzy or Kalos or somebody over on that Goodnight Nick roster was the first one really bringing this god out in the early stages of Phase 2 for SCC.
He's just a strong, versatile pick with that minor rework, giving him a major buff to his cooldowns, the protections inherent to the Wisp, plus the protections you get from Lotus Crown means that you turn everybody that you heal into a tank. So I think that Sylvanas is incredibly strong. It's surprising to see him get this deep into P's and P's, especially considering the Snake Hunters allocate 2 of their very last bans towards Guardians, but none of which are the incredibly meta ones. I mean, Geb's still out there, goes unpicked, Khepri as well. A first pick, first ban potential inside of the SPL ignored here inside of the European SCC, but both team compositions seem incredibly scrappy at this point. If I had to give slight favor right now, probably going towards Joystick just because it feels like they got everything that they love.
And then you round out the composition with a Scylla and plenty of lockdown to set up for that Scylla. If Thanatos doesn't get the execute, well, then you can throw an I'm a Monster or a Crush right on top. Either of those should be more than enough to get that kill, followed by a Death Scythe. You have a Cabrakan with double stun, Sylvanas with plenty of setup. Team Joystick seem like they got everything they want, but even Snake Hunters have a pretty solid composition of their own. Let's see which one wins out here in game number 1. Snake Hunters versus Team Joystick, week number 10 of the EU SCC, and it will be Terra going in the solo lane this time around. Mecha Black will be piloting that Kuzenbo for the supports. It's J-Mac and Mifflin and Doug on our camera today for the SCC. Jumping in right into this game, nothing too out of the ordinary. I say that, most people go, whoa, hold on, there's a tier 2 Bancrofts here on this Cabrakan solo, but considering this is Lamogao, really not out of the ordinary at all.
Yeah, that's Mogao's bread and butter right there. He loves playing that early game aggressive role, wants to be able to sit inside the lane, bully out, and utilize that additional sustain from his build to continually look for those fights. Generally, he's the only one on Team Joysticks who's getting overly involved inside of the early game. Expect Sarpei to try and match that pace slightly, as Thanatos is a little bit of an early game slanted god, but as far as kind of team identity, I'd say that Snake Hunters generally likes to get involved slightly more fast than everybody else inside of the EU SCC.
Yeah, Sap will take a little bit to get online for his early stages of clear. He's going to take a lot of damage. A Blinken by worst hurdle, almost enough to take him out, but didn't have enough for that final base. He hit that level 2 just in time for Sap, so he's able to get back under tower, but had to use his beads because of it. So those will be on cooldown for another 2.5 minutes, and that can allow some extra aggression to blink in by Mecha Black, but he doesn't get the push immediately afterwards, so just a relic immediately thrown on cooldown by the support.
And now Sap 7 getting engaged on again in mid is able to avoid the majority of damage. We'll see if Chekio is quite as lucky as he takes a good bit here.
Sarpei taking a lot of damage as the scrap between the junglers, and Sarpei is the one who comes out on top. A big kill for him and the first blood for Team Joystick. Now Chekio may be in a little bit of danger. No Sikkim available for Sap. He hasn't hit his level 3 yet, but crushes more than enough damage to kind of deal that right back, put Chekio under that tier 1 tower, and put Snake Hunters down immediately at the first minute.
And now it's a blink in from Sarpei. Good damage output here. May have cost him his life. Can't be doing that, man. On tower line, going to get pulled in. Sarpei was such a strong start, getting first blood immediately, but maybe squanders it a little bit here as Chekio is able to return 1 and find a little bit of equity on the map. So the only difference between these two squads right now is that first blood bounty. Sarpei not going to feel too awful about it, as he is able to at least pick up the heavy mace, so he's on a slightly faster power curve than Worst Turtle on the other side, but uncharacteristic mistakes, man. Can't be doing that, especially this early.
Yeah, blinking right up to that tower line, and you know, typically Merlin's not a god that you would think that has that level 2 right at the tower line kill potential, but that one little pull in and that arcane stance might just be enough. Mecha Black takes about half of his health and damage. Eye Silence and E-Chrome able to push them under that tier 1 tower with more than enough room to spare, and well, Moga, he's feeling just about what every Guardian solo laner does, is everybody wants to rotate over and try and keep him from getting this blue buff, try and keep him from getting any kind of farm. The Worst Turtle's been spotted out. Sarpei will hunt him down. Lamogao goes in with the blink, the stun on top of Worst Turtle, and the Tremors will put him in the dirt. 2 kills up for Team Joystick, and maybe even more. But Ray Shadow, full health, full mana, has plenty of mobility to try and get away from this. Sap 7 now in the mid lane trying to fight Chekio, but nice flicker. We'll make sure to get him out of that crush.
Yeah, Snake Hunter struggling a little bit to try to find their feet under them. Worst Turtle trying to get aggressive on the blue buff, may be able to strip that away had Sarpei not been there, but hovering that long, realizing that he was spotted out, probably could have disengaged a little bit sooner. Finds himself 0-2 inside the jungle, level 3 to Sarpei's 4. This Thanatos off to a very fast start. That's not a good look for the Susano, who's going to need a little bit of time now to catch back up.
It's not going to be fun, especially if Sarpe can dip into that level 5 just before him. Means that Hovering Death will have that execute online and start going for some of these aggressive plays. But Mogao might need to be a little bit careful. He is out of mana, teleporting from Worst Turtle. He's caught inside of the root. Able to make it out for a moment, but not for much longer. Ray Shadow comes through, but at level 5, Sarpe dunks in. Worst Turtle low, but a better stun from Ray Shadow may save the light of the jungler. Sarpe will not continue the aggression in. Nice turnaround kill by Snake Hunters.
Yeah, Worst Turtle, you cannot accuse him for lack of trying. And that is, what, 3 gank attempts in as many minutes, and finally hits pay dirt here as he's able to set up for Ray Shadow inside of the soul lane. And that was something that Ray Shadow desperately needed. Lamogao was starting to pull slightly too far ahead off the back of a blue buff invade and still be able to secure his own. So Lamogao not struggling too much here as he has finished off that Bancroft's Talon, meaning that Ray Shadow with Mystical Mail in that first slot might be dealing a little bit more damage with those yellow numbers, but not really mitigating too much of what Lamogao is looking for himself. Keep your eyes on Worst Turtle. I think we might see him over there in the soul lane pretty often.
Would not be surprised if we saw really both of these junglers just keeping an eye on the solo lane. It seems the dual lane is all good by its own here. Silence and E-Chrome both level 5. The dual lane of Snake Hunters are not able to hit that level 5 mark just yet. If they can get a nice pull and a knock-up combo, could be the death, especially if it's Wengu who does get pulled in. Mecha Black a little tankier on this Kuzenbo, but still some decent kill potential out of his Team Joystick duo.
Yeah, it's just sitting on the tower line. E-Chrome maybe playing too aggressive. Gets pushed in, takes 1 tower shot, but EI Jutsu should be enough to get him out. Keep your eyes on the jungler, though.
Worst Turtle rotating on over, and this may be a nice little kill. E-Chrome does have ult if he needs to get out. A good knockup by Silence will make sure that the carry can get out, but not enough distance traveled by E-Chrome. He'll fall down. Worst Turtle credit for a kill. The Kappa will slow down Silence. That might be enough for him to close in and try and yank him right back in. Watery Grave used. Worst Turtle trying to get in. It's tanking up the tower for Mecha Black, and he'll be able to make sure to confirm the kill. Barely makes it out. Ultimate well off the mark here from Sarpe. I saw the mark come up, thought maybe he's in the area, but no, he's on the opposite side of the map, going for this back camp invade.
Yeah, just trying to make something happen while Worst Turtle's making something else happen.
Oh, no.
On the left-hand side. A little bit over-aggressive there. You're at 10% HP. Can't be looking for those purple buff invade Sep 7 with an easy rotation. Able to find 1 back. And Worst Turtle, not just his 3rd death on the board. Team Joystick, though, over-aggression yet again on the tower line. Gets punished by the Snake Hunters, but it's been high contention.
Sarpe taking a lot. Deathside just saved his life by taking out that Harpy. Chekio almost gets another turnaround kill against Sarpe, but he'll be able to make it out. Sap 7 here on the Scylla. Now level 5 Ice Silence will join him in that mid lane with the other support. And Mecha Black, he's been getting some attempts on these blink pushes. He came up fruitful in that last one. At least got E-Chrome pushed under the tower, and I believe he got his beads for it because of that. And then Worst Turtle comes over. But I'm just curious as to why E-Chrome canceled that ultimate so early. Felt like he traveled basically nowhere. Maybe he thought, okay, I've got ultimate. They're not going to continue the chase. And, well, they showed him otherwise.
Yeah, I think E-Chrome just kind of miscalculated his own damage, having not gone back to base just yet, was still sitting on a tier 1 item, and thought maybe he still had the fight potential, was able to drop Worst Turtle down to around 10% HP, but yeah, I agree with you. Should have just been running.
Oh, blink over the wall by Worst Turtle, steals the speed buff, and now it's just going to play the game of bait. Is he going to go to his own little jet stream? Yes, he will, but Sarpe missed the dunk, but Mogao is here, has the stun right on top, and that sets up Sarpe, loses the speed, but gets the kill and a nice little friendly taunt right back at him. Team Joystick still up 2,000 gold here at the 7-minute mark, and doesn't seem like this pressure is going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, Worst Turtle is just getting so involved on the map, constantly allowing Team Joystick to take these opportune fights as Mecha Black makes the rotation over. Sarpe, no ultimate available, but I don't think there's a lot of kill potential either.
Watery Grave hits, and then it's the proc in from the ultimate of Ray Shadow. Puts Sarpe fairly low, but it's a Thanatos. One little death side can instantly turn that around. Now Ray Shadow may be the one in danger. Throws out the Monolith, but a good wall by Mogao. Catches him out, stuns him out, and the Crush on a monster is all that's needed to finish the job. Mogao gets pushed under the tower and decides to try and make sure to turn this fight back around. He will go down. Silence will get the credit for the kill, but Chekio rotating over again. Seems to be Sarpe's worst demise is this mid laner of the Snake Hunters.
Worst Turtle going to return that friendly taunt that we saw just a little bit earlier. He's able to catch out Sarpe inside of the blue buff this time around, but this has been a very high action game so far. EU SEC doing their best impression of the North American SEC. Halloween right around the corner. Maybe that's what we're dressing up as.
It has really been a high-octane game. From minute number 1, we've been seeing action, and it's not stopping anytime soon and anywhere on this map. Echrome, you just need one more basic, man. Can he get it? Does he have the Eagle Eye available? No, and Wengu will make it out, able to at least save that purple buff, so he gets the buff, saves his life, and doesn't have to use any of his relics, so that purification beads will still be up. Mecha Black is sitting around the corner, could look for potential gank here against Echrome, but it is just one Kuzenbo and just one Hachiman. One little ultimate would be all that Echrome would need, or a nice Jutsu to get away, and Echrome looks like he will be out for the time. Mecha Black not going to stop this Hunter.
No, no way Mecha Black even tries to take that 1v1 right now. Look at all those stacks, but you're right. Where's Turtle? Cannot be stopped. Always involved.
He's got to be everywhere on the map at once. Jetstream to get in, immediately waiting back, gets the Siphon to pull him right back in, and the Typhoon to get the kill. Where's Turtle? Showing out the Susano combo just to make sure to guarantee a kill on the Hunter. If Mecha Black can't do it, well, by God, we'll send the jungle over to make sure somebody can do it.
Meanwhile, Sarpei, trying to match that rotation power, does know that Worst Turtle's on the way back through his passive. Not quite able to find the Scythe, but maybe the ultimate will be enough.
Blink for Blink. Now Worst Turtle under the tower. Is he going to dash away? It's the ultimate game of cat and mouse, and this time the cat comes out on top. Sarpei gets one, but he'll trade his life, be jungle for jungle. And Mecha Black credited for the kill. Eye Silence just sits back and watches as the junglers continue to trade lives here. They are a part of 6 of the kills, but it's been 8 deaths across the board just between the 2 of them.
Yeah, it's just a high contention match. It seems like these guys have got some beef as Silence pushing the wall here, is slowed out. If he's able to land the giddy up, might have been able to find the kill, but a good ultimate probably secures his life.
Ultimate place, and then off the horse comes Echrome, slams down right on the horseman himself. One more shot would be enough for the revive, but he doesn't get it. Mecha Black wants to try and return the favor. Watery Grave under the tower. Mecha Black doesn't have the damage for it.
No
and then
way.
the whisk comes out. Mecha Black can't secure the kill. Eye Silence lives. And Team Joystick put up 2 more kills on the left side of the map.
Yeah, that was Thebes diff right there. It's a fully stacked Thebes for Eye Silence that keeps him alive. Mecha Black maybe had a little bit more stacks. Could have survived with at least 1 or 2 more tower shots and finished off that kill. Unfortunate for the Kuzenbo here. And Snake Hunters and Joysticks yet again looking at 17 kills in 10 minutes right now. It's hard to break down a game like this. It's at a breakneck pace, so I guess you gotta be a little bit results oriented, and Team Joystick have certainly got the results in their favor at this point, approaching 3,000 gold in the lead.
Not just that, experience kind of even for the most part, aside from that dual lane. Even the mid lane, we do have a 1-level lead for Sab. Mogaz's got a 1, but I'm looking at this 2.5 near 3-level lead that Echrome has over Wengu in that dual lane. A fully stacked Transcendence versus only 33 stacks on a Transcendence for Wengu, and then even an Aussie fully finished up versus just that tier 2 mace that Wengu has picked up for that Chiron. Jekio gets pulled in there by Eye Silence, but not much further follow-up from the Sylvana. Sarpei, good lord, the damage is good. Typhoon is not enough, and the execute even better. Sarpei, man, it is literally just jungler scrap game. That's all this is just junglers want to fight.
Yeah, and then they want to taunt immediately afterwards. Sarpei making sure that Worst Turtle remembers what happened to him and who did it to him. 20 seconds of the grayscale to reminisce about how that fight goes down. Very deep on Team Joystick's side of the map yet again was Worst Turtle, and punished yet again, putting his 6th death on the board.
Sap and Silence look like they wanted to make a fight here in mid, but instead they'll meet up with Sarpei, go for one of these invades, or maybe just they're going for a kill right out of the gate. They're really gonna do this. They dropped a ward over the wall. They want this kill. Little they know, Worst Turtle went out the other gate instead, so they're not gonna find anything on that respawn. I think surely by now they have to have realized that he's already out of there. Instead, it's Sap, who is the lone wolf left alone by the rest of his team. 3 members of Snake Hunters trying to hunt him down. Mecha Black will use the Watery Grave to try and chase him under the tower. Needs the push. Crush is good. The Kappa slows him down, but not quite enough. Ray Shadow will even expend the Blink to go in, but Sap, he is out of there.
Yeah, completely runs away and puts Snake Hunters out of position. They chase deep, so Worst Turtle make sure they do hit Pay Dirt this time around, but Sarpei not going to make it easy.
Sarpei going to land right on the Death Scythe, and one more basic. Put him in the dirt yet again. A 6th kill on the board for Sarpei, and Echrome wants to go for another boxing match up against the horse, but he uses his ult and slams it right against the wall. Now it's the Centaurus out of Wengu. 2 of the 3 shots in with Mecha Black here. Echrome should go down, but the Aussie lifesteal is getting him just a little bit of extra health. Drops the banner. Jutsu and the trade out of the Hunters in the 2v1. It's a nice little 1-for-1 between them.
Could Echrome have survived? Yes, he could have, but he wanted the kill. He wanted to send a message, and he does it in a 2v1, able to at least take out Wengu as Ray's Shadow tries to secure himself a blue buff here. Lomogao unsuccessful in his invade attempt this time around, but we'll see if the same can be said of Sarpe, who's just looking for Worst Turtle.
They're just going for kills. Worst Turtle, he'll walk out. They spot him on the wall. Now there's 3, an immediate pull by Silence and drop Worst Turtle right in the dirt again. They get the kill. Now they get a speed buff. Yeah, Team Joystick, they just want to fight. That's all they're looking for today. Unfortunate for Worst Turtle, he is the target of almost every single one of these fights.
Yeah, 8 deaths in 13 minutes for the Susano at this point, but only 2 levels down on Sarpe inside of the jungle. But only notable facet here is the mental fortitude that I'm seeing from Snake Hunters out of F6 5 times.
A pull in against Chekyo, but he'll be just fine. Doesn't use any of his relics. Well, he doesn't really have them. He had to use them during the last little scrap. Mogao is back here. A stun on the mid laner. I'm a monster. We'll just hold him right in place from the Tremors. That's an instant reset there for Sap7, but who will his next target be? Well, it's only the frontliners left to smack. He'll clip Mecha Black, not do a whole lot of damage back to him. The crush drop through. Mecha Black should be fine. Should be able to make it out of here with the pull off the mark from my Silence. That will be the support walking out.
Yeah, Team Joystick just brings more numbers to these engagements. It's always a 4 versus 3 or a 3 versus 2, and the Snake Hunter is getting out-rotated on the map, but that's a byproduct of the lead already established. Wangu tries his hand at taking a 1v1 up against E-Chrome, and, well, he should have learned his lesson.
Oh, Worst Turtle, he's going to learn the lesson the hard way. Do not fight against Sap7 and iSilence. Level 15 between the mid and the jungle of Team Joystick. iSilence is even tipping up to that level 13 mark here on the support. Not something you see too often is the support almost keeping up with that level of minute threshold. But Team Joystick now up with 4,000 gold in the lead and probably just as much, if not even more, experience across the board. 8,200 experience in favor of Team Joystick just here at 14.5 minutes. And Elecrom hasn't given up. Centaurus popped, but now Wangu doesn't have any option left to live. Pops the Aegis, but Sarpe is here, and he'll put him down again. 7 kills now for the jungle.
Yeah, but he's walking into a death trap. Chekio turning around that corner, but they've got easier targets. E-Chrome right there.
Sarpe just left him to his own devices, and it will be E-Chrome under the tower. He's got a minion, but I think he clipped Mecha Black there. He's not going to make it out of here. Gets hit by the change stance of Chekio, and then the Ice Bolt right after. Chekio puts him down, but man, we're sitting 28 kills. Wow, 38. Man, I'm really good at math when I'm doing those numbers. It is. Look, man, it's before 12. It's a little bit early for it, but yeah, 28 kills, 15 minutes in, almost hitting those 2 kills per minute so far for this game. Chekio just stands by and watches as his Tier 1 tower crumbles.
Yeah, maybe he steps a little bit too far forward, though. Was spotted out by Sap7 and iSilence. Is able to rejoin Mecha Black inside of the jungle, but Sap7's chasing him out. Actually, Sentinel aggressive.
Goes in, Crush will tag Chekio. Now he needs that I'm a monster, but the fire is burning. Chekio rooted out, used the Aegis to get away from the kill of the I'm a monster, but now he doesn't have it for that potential execute out of the jungler. Just needs to dive in by Sarpe, and the XU will be good. Now sight's turned over towards Wangu. Death Side clips him out, but he gets the revive because of the kill against Sap7. Wangu makes it out for the time being, and Ray Shadow will make sure that their hunter can get out. It's just the frontliners of Team Joystick in this fight, and they'll be more than healthy, but Sarpe, he's not happy about that escape. He'll walk right back into the mid with the death side, takes out the hunter.
Throughout that entire fight, Worst Turtle was setting up his own ambush, trying to catch out E-Chrome. Has good damage, but not quite successful in finishing off that kill, but maybe happy with just surviving this one.
Ray Shadow, he's now the one at half. Sarpe will chase him down, but not the most amount of kill protector. A good hit. And Worst Turtle will try and again go for this boxing match, but it's E-Chrome who wins this time. The Aussie proc comes through, gives him enough lifesteal, and Silence gets Ray Shadow, Mecha Black now in the middle of 3, and Mecha Black down. 22 kills up for Team Joystick, just shy of 17 minutes.
Can't help but think Worst Turtle could have gone to the actual team fight instead of forcing multiple 1v1s up against E-Chrome, but maybe it would have been pretty value had he found that kill. But here's the thing about how E-Chrome's like literally 5 levels up on Worst Turtle right now, so it's probably not a fight he should be taking. Anyway, Sarpe, yeah, he's hovering in death right now.
Well, he's hoping to kill somebody at the tail end of that hovering death, but doesn't find anyone just yet. Now that Wangu has come through, blink for Sarpe, as Silence needs the death scythe if he really wants that kill, but he won't find it. Instead, he might be turned on Centaurus. First one off the mark, second one misses, third does hit. Does a decent amount of damage, but immediately that death scythe makes sure Sarpe gets a huge chunk of health back. 6 levels up. Mogao finds Chekio by himself in mid lane. Ray Shadow wants to try and turn the tides of the fight, but Team Joystick are up so far that Mogao does not care about sitting back here at speed buff.
Now, I silenced 4 levels up on the jungler, the Snake Hunters. That's the support, by the way. This Sylvanas is a menace on the map, and Worst Turtle is no longer a menace on the map, not on the map at all. Surrender vote tossed up, can only think it's Snake Hunters.
Mogao will use the ultimate. Wengu dives in aggressively with the giddy up, but Wengu has to use the Aegis. Mogao still weaving through, in and out, will manage to make it alive. Sap7 gets the credit for the kill, and a pull in. The I'm a Monster does clip Ray Shadow, but it's E-Chrome who puts them down. Mecha Black, the last one alive for Snake Hunters, and Team Joystick want to kill out the main Kappa himself. Mecha Black falling low, gets a push against Silence, but Phae does the deed and puts him down. Another kill up for Team Joystick, and now we're getting closer. Actually, now we've gone past that 38 that I was talking about earlier. So I was thinking in the future.
Yeah, you knew it was coming, and this time Snake Hunters are at least able to benefit from their low levels, respawning very quickly to try and defend this Phoenix.
Check, yo. You may not be out of here just yet. Hovering
Never
Death
mind.
is up, but Phae, just as soon as he tries to come crashing down, it's a quick little surrender vote coming out by Snake Hunters, and I mean, at that point, there's not much they can do to fight back. Worst Turtle can't even walk in the jungle at this point of the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to fault you for surrendering that one, man. That was an absolute bloodbath. Felt like they were just trying to send a message, weren't they? Joystick said, hey, look, it might be the last week, but you're not getting a free one against us.
No, Team Joystick, they just came out to punish anybody who stood in their way and show why they are currently sitting at that number 2 seed. Snake Hunters fall down in game number 1. Can they make a nice little bounce back in game 2? We'll find out right after this break. welcome back to the SMITE Challenger Circuit. Getting ready to jump into game number 2. Game number 1 was a complete and utter bloodbath, is probably the easiest way to say
Nailed
it.
it.
It was completely dominant by Team Joystick, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know how much more we can really expand on there. That was just, we want to fight, and unfortunately for Wurstel, he was kind of the main target of Team Joystick's aggression.
Yeah, games like that can be broken down into two kind of schools of analysis. Either you say, hey, man, you weren't winning the fight, so maybe stop taking them, or you say, hey, if you want to take all those fights, maybe start winning them. I mean, that's legitimately the extent of the analysis I can bring. If anything, I expect maybe some shift-ups and P's, as we do have some shift-ups in the rosters.
Yeah, we do have a sub coming in for this second game for the Snake Hunters. Dark Wizard is going to be stepping in the place of Mecha Black as their support in game number 2. So maybe that will bring a little bit of extra light here, though. Dual lanes seem to be doing okay for themselves in the early stages of the game. They're even able to get some nice turnaround kills. Maybe that's also just because, well, Sarpei was making a lot of Tier 1 tower dives on that Thanatos. So we're getting some nice punishment, but we will be seeing Dark Wizard make his way in on this roster in game number 2. And game number 1, yeah, I mean, the analysis of that one was just everybody wanted to fight. Wurstel was the main target of the fight, and there were some shining moments for Snake Hunters in the early game, but eventually the jungle just got way too far ahead. Sarpei basically just went nigh unstoppable at the latter half.
All right, chat, I'm talking directly to you here. I'm going to give you the roster for Snake Hunters going into Game 2 with their roles, and we'll see if this adjusts your channel point votes, okay? You've got Dark Wizard playing inside of support. Mecha Black headed straight into the soul lane. Worst Turtle decided that getting camped at his speed buff was no longer enjoyable, so he decided to reprise his role inside of mid, and Ray Shadow is going to be the ADC this time around. Best of luck. Maybe some wide changes like that could be what you need after a game like that.
In that case, that just leaves us to who the... Oh, no, we have the mid. So where is Chekio / Wengu going? One of those is getting subbed out here, and one of them is going to the jungle. Maybe they get a feel a little bit of the wrath of what Worst Turtle had to taste there. And a lot of our highlights are just on this Sarpei, this Thanatos, just a menace on the map pretty much at all stages of the game. Sarpei ending the game at 11-3 on the Thanatos. Lamogao 4-2. Pretty much everybody having a nice and positive matchup here on Team Joystick, putting out some solid damage throughout, but in a 19-minute game, there's only so much that you can really go off of. Ekrom got a nice little chunk of damage, 18,500. We'll see what things change up here, though, in game number 2.
Yeah, numbers are looking just fine for at least one of those teams, and the team that has some wide sweeping changes maybe has something to prove here inside of game 2. If we were in the SPL, that would have been the shortest game in SPL this year, but luckily this is the SEC. I'm not sure if that's the shortest. I'd say it's probably up there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. That'd be a stat that we'd have to ask Gormeister about. Oh, and we did get confirmation. It's Chekio who's going to be playing in. He's going into the jungle this time, so him and Worst Turtle
Poggers
making a small little swap there. Let's jump right into Picks and Bans game number 2. I'm curious to see how this one all falls apart. I mean, we have, I'm not going to say, well, falls apart maybe. I don't know. How it all falls into place is usually where I go, but I mean, basically a full roster swap around as far as the roles are concerned. A player subbing in, Snake Hunters doing anything they can to try and get a little bit of fight back here up against Team Joystick in game number 2. It was a heavy mage priority in game number 1 as far as the bans were concerned. We had 4 mid laners banned out. We'll see if that holds true here in game number 2.
Snake Hunters, though, do learn their lesson and say, hey, man, maybe we don't want to play against Mogao's Kabrakan yet again, so they ban that out very first at the top of the ban order here. Joystick say, okay, do whatever you want. I'm just going to ban, like, the good stuff, and immediately removes the Tiamat, and, well, Snake Hunters with a unorthodox team composition and a role swap composition. Also going to keep that trend rolling. Unorthodox bans. Bacchus taken off the table.
I'm trying to think if there was a time that Mogao did play this Bacchus that I can think of. Nothing immediately comes to mind, so maybe this one just kind of thrown out there as a we don't want to play it because we've got something cooking up for it? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Team Joystick will make a change up in their bans. They're going to take the Susanoo away. So a shot at Worst Turtle, though. Maybe they don't realize that Worst Turtle isn't going to be playing in the jungle this time. It will be Chekio, so we'll see how that changes up. At least the drafts for Team Snake Hunter and a Tiamat ban, that will stay consistent at least from game number 1.
Thank God it's finally been addressed, man. I'm so sick of Opwash making his way through P's and B's. This god is unbridled aggression. I mean, what do you not have? You got damage output, you got CC, you know, lane-wide ultimate. Not many gods can lay claim to that. And he's also got some of the best anti-heal inside of the game. So you might as well ban that one out. He's been allowed to run free for too long.
Dude, it's insane what this god is able to do.
Agreed.
You highlight a lot of the CC, not just that, the ultimate. It doesn't stop on, you know, it used to be, you know, whatever god is in front, it will body block, just goes right through them. Walls aren't going to stop this ultimate, so the jungle makes him even more dangerous to kind of fight inside of. But Opwash finally taken away. It'll be a set first pick for Snake Hunters, trying to get some early aggression out of the jungle.
Man, Snake Hunter's coach must be able to see the lines
Hunter.
of the universe, man. Like something. He's reading the code that whatever your deity wrote to create the world, because set first pick might just be the best first pick you can take within the game of Smite. Here's the thing about how it has flex potential into 5 individual roles. It doesn't. But I can say it does because free speech, I don't know. Set's really good, does a lot of damage, been going into the ADC role more often than not recently, but does have some flex potential. Yeah, Skewer, let's get it.
I was ready to see how you could convince me support, because the other 4 roles, you know, I could kind of see it, but I was waiting for the support opportunity out of it. And well, it got banned away in game number 1. You know, Ikram has said himself, I'm a menace on this god. I'm one of the best there was. Maybe he didn't say, well, I'm one of the best. Maybe he thinks that, but won't actually say it out loud. He'll get to play the Heimdall in game number 2 for Joystick, and it'll be a Sylvanas pick for Snake Hunters, so they do get a little bit of that meta flavor inside of their support role. We have seen this god go jungle before, didn't have a lot of success, so probably won't be seeing it this time around. Maybe even with that set pickup, most likely will deter it from going into that jungle. And a raw hover here by Snake Hunters, it kind of gives me a little bit of shades. I'm going to say, I think it's like Season 3, where you just pick the Sylvanas and you drop either like a Zeus or a Ra immediately with it, and you just kill whoever walks in the mid lane.
Man, I am getting chills looking at this Snake Hunter draft, J-Mac. Good lord. If the SPL ever figures out what's going on here in the SEC, expect some changes at the SPL level. Set, Sylvanas, and Ra going to be the first 3 locked in for the Snake Hunters. And let me tell you about team fight potential. You ever been hit by a Sylvanas ultimate and then slammed by Skewer and Searing Pain before you touch the ground? Yeah, well, you didn't get a chance to touch the ground if that happened, because you're dead, evaporated into dust before it's allowed to happen. Your feet will never make contact with the earth yet again. The only thing you're making contact with is the bottom of a casket. You're going straight into the grave.
I'm really going to feel bad for the Samuzan Cop if he does get hit by that combo,
Rest in
because he
peace.
has absolutely no escape from there. The Heimdall can at least beads and try and Bifrost and hope that they don't predict where he's going with that Bifrost. Better hope that crystal is somewhere far, far away from this composition. Second round of bans, it's going to be a Hachiman and then a pass ban.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Their second one. They're saying they don't need it. I don't know, man. The way you've been hyping up this Snake Hunters roster, the Snake Hunters draft here, I don't know. That pass man might be a little bit of a throw there.
Snake Hunters was teetering on the edge of idiocy and genius, and then they finally tipped the scales in favor of genius with this Athena ban. Good God, have they routed Team Joystick inside of the P's and B's this time around. Joystick thought they may have accumulated their tic-tac-toe 3 in a row. The Connect 4 was just there. The 4th piece, being Athena, has been removed from the table, so they have to fall back down to Mercury inside of the draft. Good luck, Joystick. I'm calling it. Game 3.
Yo, give me this Mercury support. That's what I'm looking for right now. Rush a Frostbound Hammer.
Yeah.
You can just punch out any one of these hunters, any one of these people with low mobility. Though going up against a Chernobog as another matchup there might not be the most fun for a Mercury. You're going to be a little bit squishier, and these Chernobogs have been seeing a little bit more crit come out as of recent, where the Hunters, you better hope that you got a little bit of extra crit on board for the Mercury. Final pick, Erlong Shen. Now I'm really curious as to where this set is going to fall in place. Is this Erlong Shen going in the jungle? Is this Erlong Shen going in the solo lane? I have no idea.
Look, Erlong or Set, solo or jungle, doesn't really matter. All I know is that they're putting some prowess onto the board this time around.
Classic.
Meanwhile,
hold on
the other end, maybe we get to see some of that Lamogao patented Hades solo, but I was kind of hedging my bets towards that Muzan Cobb headed to the short lane, so we'll get to see what happens here. And well, I guess that cleans it up.
Yeah,
so we've got, what is it, like a double Hunter lane, Mercury inside of the jungle, Merlin mid with a Hades solo. Whew, chills in game 2.
I didn't even think that it could have been the double Hunter in the duo lane. I was thinking, you throw the Mercury support, kind of throw shade backs of that Frostbound Hammer Mercury support of the days of old, but no, it will be Hades coming here to round out the draft for Team Joystick. Snake Hunters have a pretty potent composition of their own. I'm curious with all of these role swap-ups to see where all of these gods end up falling in place. Worst Turtle might be jumping in onto this Raw in the mid lane. We'll see where it all does go. Let's not delay it any further. Snake Hunters versus Team Joystick, game number 2. And we hop right in. And no, we were all thrown for a loop. It's going to be the Raw Jungle coming out of Czechio. And then Worst Turtle will be taking the set mid Ray Shadow on the ADC Erlong Shen. The only thing that sits in where you would expect it on this side is going to be that Sylvanas. Sarpei, okay, hold on. Sarpei going with the Merlin jungle. This is something I'm going to be keeping my eye on.
Yeah, I would like to just formally apologize not only to both of these absolute behemoths of Team Snake Hunters and Team Joystick, but you guys in the chat as well. The hubris of me to try and assume where these gods were going to land. I cannot contain even a third of the knowledge brought forth here.
Ooh, silenced on the Mercury support. Not going to make it out of here. He will fall down. First blood goes to Worst Turtle after having one of the worst games of his life in game number 1. He gets a little bit of revenge as an early first blood in game 2 to put Snake Hunters right on the board.
And now Worst Turtle trying to get aggressive yet again. Dark Wizard taking a good deal of damage after missing that pool. And Snake Hunters, although fine first blood, may have just put Egrom even further ahead. Some of that solo farm going to feel pretty nice for him. Meanwhile, Ray Shadow starting to make his rotation all the way across the map, clearing up all that jungle he left available.
Silence is back. The benefit of falling at level 1 means, well, your cooldown and your respawn timer, not very long, so he'll make it right back. Probably the only thing out of all of these that we could firmly guess as to where it was going to go was Mogao on this Hades. He'll make it in the solo lane. Silence will return the fire immediately and get a kill up against Dark Wizard, and Worst Turtle's going to feel the worst end of the brunt here, and he'll fall down. Echrome credit for the kill. That puts 2 up for Team Joystick right away.
3 kills in a minute and a half, so we're on point for that 2 per minute going forward at this point. And look, Team Joystick may have fallen for first blood, but they've only blundered for about a half second as they've established themselves a small lead yet again. We'll see if Silence wants to take this 2v1. If history's any indicator, I'd say yeah. I mean, they don't shy away from fights.
Sap is here on the Amuzen Cobb mid. Ray Shadow gets a nice pin against him, but quickly use the turtle form to go away, but a nice dash by Silence will catch him out. Ray Shadow with no mobility, nowhere left to go. He'll juke a couple of autos, but Silence will close in the gap and take him down. Third one on the board for Joystick. Looking over at Chekio now here. Well, he's right back to his rightful spot. He was in mid lane. No big deal.
Yeah, here's the thing about how Sarpei doesn't have beads and instead just used Blink and Flicker to close gap. He did both of those things to apply, I think, like 50 damage to this Ra.
It's going to be a red buff successfully saved here by Snake Hunters. Chekio will turn some fire right back at him. Worst Turtle in the middle, but Sarpei gets a nice pull back in on that arcane stance. Silence closing in the gap, but a good pull by Dark Wizard. Pulls him out of position. Ray Shadow, he's back for the fight and going for the immediate split guess. Sarpei tries to get the burn and does trade out 1 for 1, but it's Sap 7 who's the one in danger as well as Silence. He's under the tower, and Ray Shadow returns the kill, gets 1. Sap now rooted out. That's going to be 3 kills up here for Snake Hunter. If they can close the gap to Amuzen Cobb, the juke boots are too good. Sap 7 makes it out.
But he heads straight back in. What, 1/3 HP, no mana? I may have cheated death once. Let's see if I can do it again.
Not going to cheat death for a second time. Chekio will put him down. The Raw finally gets himself on the board. 1-0-1 for Chekio. Ray Shadow over on this Erlong Shen. Well, he'll get pulled back by Silence, thrown against the wall, and a rotation from the level 5. Echrome, we haven't seen you in a while there, buddy. He'll make it in. You get a nice return fire right away. 5-4 on the kills. 9 immediately, and because that level 5 is here, he'll throw him right through the realms and right into the clutches of Silence. Dark Wizard drops down, a toss right back to the minions, and there's nowhere to go for the tree. Double kill for Silence.
10 kills in 3 minutes, and we'll see if Worst Turtle can notch another one jumping in.
I didn't realize we queued for Arena here, Mifflin. Worst Turtle now with his 5. He procs that ultimate, but not a whole lot of damage going Silence way. Instead, it's a lot of damage going right back at him, and Echrome shows him that maybe he should have stayed in the duo lane. Another kill up for the Hunter.
Hey, Chekio saw what Sap 7 did last time around and says, hey, man, no HP, no mana. Maybe I don't re-engage. Learning from the mistakes of others, Chekio headed straight back to base, and you may have missed it in all that action, but it's here 1 tower in soul lane. Yeah, that went down. Joystick already taking it.
Mogao will get the beads out of Mecha Black, but now Mecha Black might need to run a little bit further. His rewind is down, and Mogao and Sarpei are hungry for that kill on the lone Kronos. The fire will take him out. Sarpei on the jungle Merlin gets his 2nd kill of the game.
Yeah, 2 kills per minute wasn't enough, so we're looking at 3 right now. Team Joystick already sitting at 8 themselves. Snake Hunters sitting at half of that on 4 on the other side. And take a peek at this gold gap. 2,000 already in favor of the Chaos team, and I don't expect that to slow down anytime soon. Sap 7 attempting a solo red buff invade. Has some rotations headed his way, but thanks to those hives, should be able to utilize that additional movement speed to just scurry on out of there. Worst Turtle, none the wiser, decides to take out his own little harpy. And that should spell the end of this one. Maybe the first breath we've been able to take this entire set.
Are we sure Mogao didn't swap teams by mistake and we just got the wrong names? Because it's the Bancroft Rush out of the Kronos and not the Hades, where I would normally expect that to kind of be a little bit more normalized here. But it's a Book of Thoth Rush out of Mogao and a quick Well, Sonic Boom out of Eye Silence. Make sure that Echrome puts his enemy Hunter in the dirt one more time. Doesn't matter where Worst Turtle goes. Seems that he still remains the target of aggression by Team Joystick. Not safe in the jungle, not safe in the duo lane.
Yeah, Mogao, level 6 on a tier 2 tower inside of the Soul lane. Just trying his best, living his best life, actually looking at a 1-level deficit up against Mecha Black.
Ray Shadow tossed back, and he'll use the turtle form to get out, but it's a successful purple buff invade by Team Joystick. Now with Chekio rotating over, Snake Hunters might want to try and turn this fight, but I don't think he realizes Sarpei is right behind. The damage is just too much. Ray Shadow doesn't get to live through that fight. Now it's a 4v3 as Sap7 and Sarpei have rotated over. Worst Turtle on the worst end of the fight in the jungle. He's getting a nice little bit of healing back, but it's not going to be enough. Sap7 puts him down, and Silence will zone 2 away all by himself on this Mercury. He'll toss Dark Wizard back and still hasn't hit level 5 on that Sylvanas. He is not having the best time of his life. Mogao with a blink. Ultimate catches one in place, and Sarpei gets the credit.
So what is that, 12 kills, 6 minutes? All right, Team Joystick, I think they could do a little bit better, and it seems like they agree. Chekio, tier 2 tower dive.
Chekio, nice little snipe there, able to pick up one, but Silence takes him down, and, well, Order Tower gets a kill against Mogao. Sarpei falls to Ray Shadow, and Silence will just box out against him and win that trade. Worst Turtle, he's back. He said, hey, you got low health, low mana. Maybe this is my time to shine. Silence is here, but he's joined by Echrome, and, well, Echrome at level 9 against Worst Turtle level 6. This one should go in the way of a Hunter and hold him in place for you. Said, don't worry, Echrome, I've got your back.
Yeah,
Locks him in, and Echrome picks him up.
That third auto attack from Echrome did
It's
like
chunky.
20%. Of Worst Turtle's HP bar there, level 6 to Echrome's 10. I'd argue that this Heimdall should have remained banned out from Team Joystick. Echrome just having a field day right now.
Got a nearly fully stacked Transcendence, went for this red buff invade, but didn't get it. Chekio does manage to hold on to his buff, and Echrome will teleport to the tier 2 tower on the enemy side. That's how far up they are. Tier 1 tower in both side lanes is gone. So far, it's only this mid lane that's able to hold on and make sure to keep a little bit of parity between them, but outside of that, man, it is just all Team Joystick. Nearly 4,000 gold up when they take this tier 2 tower eventually, though. It will take quite a bit of time. Only sitting on a 1 full item. Yeah, it's going to take you some time before you get that tower down. Mogao, well, he doesn't have a chance to live. Finally, Worst Turtle able to get himself a second kill on the board. And Sarpei low in the jungle, might fall down. A quick flicker out, but he's just in range for the knock-up and the pull back. Sarpei down, and Snake Hunters puts a fight back.
Snake Hunters may be down, but they certainly are not out. This is a concentrated 4-man effort on the right-hand side to try and match this tier 2 pressure of Echrome on the left. 4 onto the tier 2 should be able to take this one out. Minion wave there, and Echrome finally just now putting the final nail in the coffin on the tier 2 on the left-hand side. This is a highly contentious match.
Sonic Boom, a good ultimate by Chekio, immunes the CC of it, but not going to be enough. Sap7 on this Amusing Cobb, just too much damage. Mogao in the 4v1 will get some damage back, a little bit of healing, but not a whole lot. Now that he's surrounded, pinned in place, and a root out, we'll make sure that he at least lives for a little bit longer. Sarpei rotation in. We'll make sure to get a kill. Not just 1, but it'll be 2. A nice little turnaround there for Team Joystick after losing their tier 2.
Let that be a lesson to the Snake Hunters. If you want to take out Lamogao, you're going to have to bring all 5 to the right-hand side. Meanwhile, on the left, Sap7, well, he's going to start finishing off what Echrome started, maybe looking towards this Phoenix.
Sap7, he'll try and run. He'll run as fast as he can.
Wrong way, bud.
He is just a bee. Okay, no, so if you're running, you don't turn around. Okay, he's got a hive, so he's got some movement. He's got the honey, that slows them down. Mecha Black is fast. This guy is zooming. How fast is this man? He popped that accelerate and just that. It's time to put on the his own little zoomies. Sap7 at least able to juke out a little bit. I think he just missed the stinger there. Mecha Black trying to go for the boxing. Stun is good, and it'll be enough to get them for the damage, but all the while it's a fight on the opposite side, and well, Sarpei, he'll lose that little 2v2. Silence, well, he'll slow them down for a little bit longer, hoping that somebody comes over. He's crawling out for Echrome, saying, buddy, come on. I've got 2 right for the picking for you. Got him right where you want him.
Yeah, and finally, Echrome does make that rotation over. Isilance does have the Frostbound Hammer that you had called for, and maybe does not need it. No auto attacks required from him to finish off that kill.
Silence knocked up Ray Shadow, trades out the kill. Now it's Echrome versus Ray Shadow. Ray Shadow got his heal back, but Echrome, he's got the Aussie, but the Aussie isn't enough to save his life. Ray Shadow puts him down, and now we're bumping up 32 kills in just under 10 minutes, so we're beyond the 3 kill a minute mark now.
Yeah, we're looking at a 2,000 gold lead favoring Team Joystick as well. Experience 4,000 in their favor, and they're running out of structures to go towards. yards. To push this gold lead even further, Tier 2 being accosted by Lamogao on the right-hand side as Snake Hunters try and take a play from Team Joystick's book. Looked like Dark Wizard and Mecha Black were trying to set up an ambush inside of the jungle. If they only knew how close Sarpei was, they may have been able to find one more kill for themselves. Instead, consolation prize. I know nobody really wants it, but neutral objective starting to be looked at. Greater Scorpion does fall. Gold Fury going to be spawning up very shortly.
I think everybody just kind of forgot about the objectives. Everybody's just going for the fight. I mean, this is arena. Don't let it be fooled. We reskin the arena map to look like Conquest. That way it can be played in competitive. And Worst Turtle, he gets one. Sap 7 gets another. Worst Turtle fighting against 2. He's got some good damage, some good healing. Sap 7 doesn't have any healing. He'll be burned down. Worst Turtle credit for that kill. Eye Silence now low, but E-Chrome turns around the fight. Silence will make it out. It's a double kill for E-Chrome. A miss by Mecha Black and a miss by Silence. The Major Loke won't find it. Maybe Dark Wizard could be the one to help get that kill. Mecha Black credited with it. A triple kill for E-Chrome. Go ahead and give him a fourth one, Mogao. Pull him right back in, but all right, E-Chrome, you said you were good on this guy, but you're missing ultimates like that. Well, maybe the ultimate's not necessary. It was just all a flex for him. Quadra kill for E-Chrome and puts the Team Joystick roster at 25 kills.
Yeah, E-Chrome sitting 10-1-5, 15 affected by the ADC of Team Joystick, but that only pales in comparison to what I Silenced has been able to put on the board. 21 of the 25 kills affected by this Mercury as of right now. Frostbound Thebes, by the way, is Worst Turtle. Turns the corner to watch this speed buff fall.
Check, yo. He's in the middle of 2. Mogao has finally left his farm simulator on the right side of the map to go ahead and join some of these team fights. Silence against Ray Shadow. Turtle form gets Ray Shadow out after the heal comes out. E-Chrome locked in the middle of everybody, and finally they'll get a nice little shutdown against the Hunter, a much-needed shutdown to take him off the board. Mogao, he's taken a nice chunk of damage. Also picked up a Polynomicon for his second item.
Yeah, maybe that damage output going to be feeling pretty nice now. He's starting to stack up that Book of Thoughts. Mecha Black in some trouble here. One auto whiff from Sap may have saved this Kronos' life.
And Sap gets hit by that Time Rift afterward. Worst Turtle just needs one hit to take him out. The Honey comes out, but the Skewer goes right through the wall and takes down Sap 7. Mogao rotates in. Worst Turtle in danger, and that poly shot did quite a bit to Worst Turtle. He'll pull right in, and he'll hold him in place for himself. Silence gets the kill. Sarpei tries for the boxing match against Ray Shadow, and he doesn't even need Eye Silence help. From the grave, from the burn, Sarpei takes down the jungler.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the math on the kills right now. Just know that we're over 40, 12 minutes into this one, and we are in contention for some of the fastest-paced Smite you'll have ever seen. So we get a little bit of an opportunity now to look at the map roundup. Gold Fury has spawned. Pyromancer Scorpion still available, or Forp, as the rest of the casting team is elected to call it, still available. Neither team probably going to look at that one at any point inside of this match, and E-Chrome finally having to respawn from level 15 is able to rejoin the fight, and you better believe he's going to do exactly that.
Level 15 on the Heimdall Mecha Black at half health. This ultimate comes out just to make sure he can immune the stun and pick up an extra kill for himself. 12-2. A pull in by Dark Wizard. Checkyo with a nice solid ultimate. That's enough to take him down. And there's that combo we talk about during picks and bans. You get one root, you get one knockup, and you're dead before you have the chance to even react.
Yeah, they may be down 10 kills, but they're only down 2,000 gold at this point. A very close match. 13 minutes into this one as Lamogao takes yet another fight at the Tier 2 tower line.
Use the ultimate. Sap 7 is now here. Worst Turtle may have to think twice about going into this match because Mogao is back, but Worst Turtle will be spared. Instead, it might be Ray Shadow who pays for the crimes of the rest of his team. Mogao credited for the kill and finally gets his first kill of the entire game on the board. Worst Turtle will go for the speed buff. You know, once a jungler, always a jungler. Speed buff is up. Guys, we got to make sure we secure it. He does so, but Sarpei won't let him get it for too freely. Mogao, after a teleport in, the polyproc auto after, is enough to take him down and put a triple on the board. Mogao, who had no kills this entire game, finally puts himself on the board with a nice trip.
And now with Polynomicon could probably pretty easily take out this Phoenix. It's just Dark Wizard in range to put up a defense, but that is the last of Team Joystick's minions, so the efforts of this Sylvanas are going to be paid off. Meanwhile, though, Sarpei, with the help of Eye Silence, is able to take out the Tier 2 tower in mid, so all 3 birds of the Snake Hunters exposed.
Silence charging up that Sonic Boom. Thought he was going to make a rotation towards Checkyo, but a little too far in the base, and that wall making sure to give him a little bit of safety. So all towers are gone from the map. For Snake Hunters, it's only Phoenix that is left, and that right side one is not looking too healthy. It's sitting on its last little leg, about 25% of its health, and E-Chrome, he just went back to farm and said, all right, guys, well, if we're not going to fight anymore, I guess I'll just go ahead and get some minions, get some farm, get my build further ahead, level 16 on the Heimdall, faster than that level a minute pace that everybody loves to see. It's a 4-level difference, and I didn't even know it's a 4-level difference in the solo lane. Good lord, Mogao, who's just been kind of on a farm mode of his own, been able to pull a nice hefty lead against Mecha Black.
Fire Giant now pulled out by Snake Hunters, and it is burning incredibly slowly as Lamogao turns the corner to peep it at 50% HP. With Pauly, he might have the highest damage output.
He's got ultimate. He'll drop in the middle of 2. Ray Shadow goes down. Mogao credit for 1 kill. Checkyo will make sure to secure the Fire Giant, but who's going to secure their own lives? 3 immediately gone from Snake Hunters. Silenced. Sarpei, the one who goes down. Mecha Black credit for the kill. Silence is now here with the rest of his team as backup. A nice stinger puts down a 4th one. That's 4 gone for the Fire Giant. So a nice objective secure, but Mogao and the rest of the team make sure to make them punished for that objective.
Checkyo does have slow immunity from the second ability, immediately canceled out. Now that Frostbound is allowed to apply, Ice Silence just needs 1 auto attack to set up for the rest of the team, and there it is. Rest in peace, Checkyo. That's a deicide. Snake Hunters had Fire Giant on all 5 members and immediately lost all 5 of their members. At least extend the game by removing the neutral objective. Team Joystick can no longer take Fire Giant, so you know what? Don't look at the gold, don't look at the experience. Pretty big dub there for the Snake Hunters.
That's a big one. They are able to get these kills close to the 60 mark now. We're sitting at, I'm going to do the math real quick, 58 kills we have on the board between these 2 teams, and a Pyromancer for E-Chrome, and that's a consolation prize after losing the Fire Giant but getting the deicide. Well, no, just go ahead and pick up an extra little backup. Some more gold to your name, a little bit more experience, and get him closer to being that first one to hit level 20 on the map. I'm curious how fast he's going to hit level 20.
I'd say pretty fast, if I had to guess. Sap 7 might fall down here pretty quickly as well. 2 versus 1. Almost able to find the return kill onto Mecha Black, but maybe just setting up for the rest of the squad.
Sarpei is here, and so is Silence. Dark Wizard thrown into the fire and the flames. He'll carry on. Ice Silence not going to be able to secure the kill. Sarpei just watches as Dark Wizard makes it out. Ray Shadow with some nice extra defense to make sure his support lives on. Here's some extra healing from Checo. Why don't we turn this kill right back around? But Silence, he gets you, or ultimate from the mid laner misses. Checo doesn't get it. Mogao is back, and that one will finally put Ray Shadow down. Dark Wizard never ended up dying in all of this engagement. He's still alive. Sarpei is not, and neither is Mogao. A kill on the board for Checo, now 6 for the Raw.
We'll see if Snake Hunters can take out the raid boss. E-Chrome, last one standing, but he's a good one to have.
He's got some crit and some big lifesteal online. Dark Wizard's living for as much as he can. Ultimate's back up for Checkyo, but he whiffs it. E-Chrome now turns his sights towards this Raw and run as fast as you can, little man. How far can you go? Not very far. E-Chrome puts him down in the 3v1, able to turn around, maybe try and get Worst Turtle. That sword cleaves down and slams him for quite a bit of damage. Worst Turtle, don't walk in, man. It's not worth it. I don't know if it's even worth it for Mecha Black. The crit. Oh, okay, wow, 600 crit. Yeah, goodbye. Level 20. Hey, just shy of 18 minutes, E-Chrome hits 20.
Yeah, 16, 3, and 6 for E-Chrome, and he's not looking to slow down at any point. He's able to close the gap on a Dark Wizard, might be able to put the 17th on the board.
Run, Dark Wizard, as fast as you can. Worst Turtle is here, but is that going to be enough backup? A teleport in, E-Chrome pulled in, but is the lifesteal and crits enough? He teleports right behind them, and yes, it is going to be enough. Ray Shadow taunts him in, and that might have been the worst person to taunt back into yourself. E-Chrome puts up a double kill, 18 kills on the board for the Hunter, and Phoenix, well, it stands no chance against him.
Yeah, here's the thing about how when you're taunted, you can't miss auto attacks. You cannot. It aims it for you. E-Chrome can essentially just let go of his keyboard and says, all right, easy kill for me. Ray Shadow, rest in peace. The same can be said of Sap 7 on the opposite side.
E-Chrome's going for that number 20, but he'll buy Frost Run on out. I'm surprised he didn't stick by there and try and help Silence out. Sarpei is here, a teleport over the wall with the flicker, an immediate transform in, and that puts 19 on the board. Can E-Chrome get number 20? He will with the ultimate. That puts him down, puts a deicide on the board, and Team Joystick look to push out this Titan in endgame number 2 in a nice and decisive victory. 46 kills for them, 26 for the opposition. Quick math, 72 kills in our second game in under 20 minutes. And, well, maybe they can make it 73 or 74 unless the Titan goes down before that.
Unfortunate that the Titan did not have the endurance to stick around so we could extend that match and find a couple more kills at the tail end, but congratulations to the Snake Hunters. In the very last week of play, we thought we might see a slightly goofy game, and I think we got exactly what we asked for.
I think everybody got a nice little treat in that one. Everybody got to have a little bit of fun. Snake Hunters, they get to take a nice little break and get ready for the next season of play. We're going to take it to a break, and then we'll come back and close out that set.
Gotta take off my jacket for this one. Oh, dude, this. No, I know he was supposed to take you out last weekend, but he got busy.
If you've ever been curious about all the behind-the-scenes action that happens when the players aren't on the battlefield playing the game, you can always go to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/SmitePro to catch all the behind-the-scenes, whether we have them in here for our Kicking It With The Pros days, doing some 1v1s, trivia, interview, team check-ins, all that kinds of fun, plus all kinds of other content like our roster apocalypse, the SPL weekly recap. You also have Aggro's opinions and all kinds of other fun topics over there on youtube.com/SmitePro. So be sure when you're downtime, go over there and check out that channel and see what we have to offer for you. Game number 2 in the end of the set here, Team Joystick in less than 20 minutes on both games, able to close it out. And interestingly enough, I believe Gore said it was, 144 kills is the most that we had in a single competitive game. That was the most in Mifflin. We only had half of that here in the second game, but even still, a nice 70-kill game to kind of round out the early season here for Team Joystick. Now they can start looking towards these playoffs.
Yeah, Team Joystick does a good job of not showing too much of what I hope not too much of what we're going to see from them at playoffs, because I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work too consistently. Seems like a one-off strategy here, but game 2, kind of same as game 1. Mechanics diff, I guess. I don't know, team fight diff, E-Chrome diff. I don't know, man. They were just better.
I think E-Chrome diff might be the one. I think it was 20-2 was the final slash line for the Hunter, and maybe it was just team diff that allowed E-Chrome to kind of go Hunter diff. But overall, team's just having a little bit of fun. The last week of play and standings not really going to be affected at all by this matchup. So Team Joystick, it would at least get a little bit of fun. I think the most important thing for me was that we not only got to see the Mercury support, we did get to see him go Frostbound. So I'm happy, and that's going to be a good start to my weekend.
Hey, well, I'm glad that it is, man. For me, maybe the standout was Lamogao on this Hades, able to bring out one of his signature picks, goes for the Polynomicon pretty early on, constant aggression, tier 1 tower at like the 5-minute mark. It just felt like Team Joystick, why am I saying that? It didn't feel like Team Joystick did whatever they wanted, and that's it. There was no consideration for what was happening on the other side. They didn't concern themselves about numbers advantages, what might have happened if they lost a team fight. They just went in.
20-3, my mistake. I said it was 22. They actually did kill E-Chrome one other time throughout the match. Part 27 kills. Well, iSilence almost got that number in just assists alone. 26 assists for iSilence, 7 kills for the Mercury support. Even when Alono's mask, I didn't even notice that right at the very tail end of the game there, so he's able to get a little bit of extra tankiness. And overall, just fun games to be had for Team Joystick. They get a nice little victory to round out their season. Now they can start actually prepping themselves and getting ready for those Phase 2 playoffs. A very important one. Top 3 teams are guaranteed in the playoffs, and the 4th seed teams are the ones who do have to go into a wild card match to go up against the number 1 SOC team to see who does end up making it into those playoffs.
Man, poor Echrome puts out a 20 bomb, only dies 3 times, could only maintain 740 GPM. What do you got to do to break that 1,000 mark?
You're saying only 740
That's what I'm saying.
GPM? Only.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your Hunter only did 740.
Wish
You
you did more.
guys deserve better than that. Let's take a look at the schedules and see what else we have for the rest of the weekend. East Elysium and Just F6 will be our Sunday match to round out the rest of the EU SCC, and our final NA SCC match will be tomorrow morning, right before SPL. Will be Winter Dogs and Average Joes facing off. Let's take a look at the standings and see. Well, nothing is going to change as far as their positions for it. Snake Hunter still remain at the bottom 1-9, and Team Joystick at 8-2. To finish off the rest of their regular play season. Congrats to them on their second place seeding, and Elysium at that number 1 spot. And with their matchup tomorrow looking to secure and guarantee that they hold on to that first place.
Yeah, I believe if Elysium does fall tomorrow, although there will be parity within the standings, head-to-head likely does favor them, but always a much-cast watch. If you want to watch a match just like you just saw, I mean, maybe tune in. The last week of any SEC is always a treat.
Really, it's the last week of any kind of competitive stuff. Speaking of competitive, we still have SPL going on today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we had SCC. This is your kind of your little flavor. Get it all going through your pre-dinner mint. Now you get the actual app. You get
You
the
do
main
a
course.
pre-dinner mint?
Sometimes you do.
What? But I feel like the mint's post-dinner.
Probably. I don't know. This is that was your appetizer. That's the better one I was going for.
I like that.
Your appetizer. Now we move on to the main course with the SPL. Camelot Kings and Jade Dragons as the first set of the day, as the first set of the weekend. Man, talk about a big one to get started off with. And then the Atlantis Leviathans and the Oni Warriors will be our second match of today. And then got 2 studio matches tomorrow with the Dragons and the Titans, and then the Bolts and Scarabs, and the Warriors, Valkyries, and the Atlantis Leviathans and the Titans round out the rest of the weekend on Sunday. Plenty SMITE esports action. This is week number 4. We have this week and then next week for the SPL, so we still have plenty of games to go through. Somebody is looking to dethrone the Atlantis Leviathans this weekend. They are sitting 4-0 in the standings, undefeated. Maybe some team is going to be able to try take them down, or maybe some team will try and take them down. But before we go into the SPL, we do still have the waiting room coming up. Mifflin, you're on the waiting room, aren't you?
Am I? Did you read the schedule?
I think so. I think
Oh,
you're
cool.
on
I
the
mean,
schedule. I know Gormiser's on the waiting room. That one's almost entirely guaranteed every single week.
I'd say so. It's his show.
Yeah, it's a good point for him. It's a good place for him. It's a good spot for you to be here at 12:30. We're kicking that off in less than 20 minutes. So if you want to be there for the waiting room, stick by. We're going to take it to a break, and then we'll come right back there at 12:30 for the waiting room.